This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday Morning TVLog, and this time around it's the Krofft Supershow, brought to us by Saturday Morning Krofft Productions. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Dewald, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So this week's Saturday Morning TVLog is the Krofft Supershow, a children's variety show that originally premiered on ABC in September of 1976 and ran for 2 seasons. The show was composed of several live-action segments, hosted by Kaptain Kool and the Kongs, a rock band created for the series. Now, each week they brought us some music and fun, plus various segments that were featured. Now then, this had numerous segments, including reruns of The Lost Saucer, which was a recent hit for them the previous year. And then there were other segments. I'll give them all to you, but I'll tell you when they were dropped. Well, after that. They were Dr. Shrinker, Bigfoot and Wildboy, Wonderbug, Magic Mongo, and Electra Woman and Dyna Girl. Now, the Dr. Shrinker and Electra Woman and Dyna Girl segments only lasted for the first season. Now, The Lost Saucer only lasted for the first half of the first season, and they were dropped when the show was cut from 90 minutes to 1 hour. The show was picked up for a second season. That was when Electra Woman and Dyna Girl and Dr. Shrinker left, and then they were replaced with Bigfoot and Wildboy and Magic Mongo. Now, each live-action segment was about 15 minutes in length. Now, there was to be a third season produced, but it was massively revamped and sent to NBC to feature the then popular Bay City Rollers, now titled the Krofft Superstar Hour. But I'll talk about that in a future episode. Now then, let's talk about the segments. Kaptain Kool and the Kongs, well, they were portrayed as a wacky glam rock band. Now, segments were videotaped at the short-lived World of Sid and Krofft Indoor Amusement Park in Atlanta. For season 2, their image was toned down and they were downsized from a 5-person band to a 4-person band. Their season 2 segments were taped in a studio with an audience full of children. Most of the songs they did were written by the Osmonds after they were replaced by the Bay City Rollers. The group made appearances on other Sid and Krofft produced series, including Donnie and Marie, the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, and the Krofft Comedy Hour. They even made an appearance on ABC's ever-popular American Bandstand and 2 primetime TV specials featuring previews of ABC's Saturday morning lineup. The Kaptain Kool was Michael Limbeck. The other members were Super Chick, played by Deborah Klinger, Turkey, played by Michael McNeil, and Nashville, played by Louise Stewart. Now, the only person who was only with them for 1 season was Flatbush, played by Bert Summer. Now, there were 2 albums that were released featuring the group, both in '78. The self-titled Kaptain Kool and the Kongs featured the band singing and stories from the Krofft TV Super Show, including several comedy skits. Not sure who released it, but I do know the Kaptain Kool and the Kongs album was released through Peter Pan Records, a children's label I do remember very well. Now, as for their segments, we'll start with Dr. Shrinker. It focuses on the titular character, a mad scientist who creates a shrinking ray that can miniaturize anything. 3 teenagers, Brad Fulton, BJ Masterson, and her brother Gory Masterson, crash land their airplane on an island. As they make their way to the only house on the island, they meet Dr. Shrinker and his assistant Hugo. The doctor, in an effort to prove that his shrinking ray works, shrinks the 3 people down to 6 inches, which is 15 centimeters tall. The remainder of the series was different efforts by the Shrinkies to return to normal size. Yes, Shrinkies is what the Doctor called them now. Well, the Doctor and Hugo want to catch the trio so that they will have physical proof that the ray works for whatever world power wants to buy it. Dr. Shrinker also implied that he would give the unnamed buyer the Shrinkies as a free bonus. However, in one episode, his plan was to sell the shrinking ray to the highest bidder, and the second highest bidder would receive the Shrinkies. Each episode was basically the same, as Dr. Shrinker himself said in one episode, I chase the Shrinkies, I catch the Shrinkies escape, it's a vicious cycle, and it's driving me mad. Yeah. Anyway, now one episode was featured on the Krofft box set in 2015, Slowly I Turn. Now, then, there was a total of 16 episodes produced for the series. I recently watched one of the episodes. I think there's one or two on the Sid and Marty Krofft Productions YouTube channel. You can find, well, maybe an episode or two of some of these shows here. Right? Anyway, now the next show is Wonderbug. Now this was the only one that lasted for both seasons. The show also later was rerun part of ABC's Sunday morning series, as a matter of fact. Now the show was kind of like a similar take on Hanna-Barbera's Speed Buggy, but kind of acts like a precursor to their series Wonder Wheels, which debuted the following year on the Skatebirds series. Wonderbug's alter ego, Schlepp Car, so named due to its personalized California license plate Schlepp, was an old beat-up conglomeration of several junk cars that looked like a rusty dune buggy. Like Herbie of the Love Bug franchise, Schlepp Car was alive and could drive itself. It could also talk in a mumbling voice. It was found in a junkyard by teenagers Barry Buntrock, Cece McNamara, and Susan Talbot. Schlepp Car transformed into the shiny metal flake, orange Wonderbug whenever a magic horn was sounded. In its Wonderbug identity, Schlepp Car had the power of flight and was able to help the three teens capture crooks and prevent wrongdoing. Now, in Wonderbug mode, the car was a Volkswagen-based Myers-Manx clone body. Specifically, the body was a Dune Runner manufactured by Dune Buggy Enterprises of Westminster, California. Dune Buggy Enterprises offered the Dune Runner with 3 different hood choices. Wonderbug has the T-Bird hood choice. The car had articulated eyeball headlights and a custom bumper that resembled a mouth. Different bumpers were sometimes used to give the car different facial expressions. When the car spoke in its mumbling voice, a rubber puppet stand-in with a moving mouth was sometimes used. The space that would normally contain the right rear passenger seat instead contained a box described in a dialogue as a costume wardrobe trunk. This box actually contained several, served to conceal a hidden driver in scenes in which the car drives itself. The car also had a long fender-mounted radio antenna that terminated with a robot-like claw or gripper. Its license plate would change to Wonderbug number 1, then DRBUG. Barry often thought he was the brains of the outfit, but it was usually Susan who came up with the ideas that saved him. A running gag was that Barry would suggest an outrageously implausible plan, its absurdity recognized by both Cece and Susan. Susan would then suggest a far more sensible plan, usually involving disguises, which Barry would then suggest as if it were his own, prompting Cece to praise Barry's supposed genius. Susan accepted the situation uncomplainingly, even telling a female character who observed one such exchange, "You get used to it." Oh boy. Now, there were 16 episodes produced for the first season and 6 more for the second season. I've seen one episode. There is another episode available on the Krofft's YouTube channel. Now, and for the last segment, I thought I'd say the best for last. One that's probably mostly recognizable for anybody, and that's Electra Woman Dyna Girl. Now, this focuses on on the crime-fighting exploits of the Caped superhero titular characters, who worked in their normal lives as Lori and Judy, reporters for Newsmaker magazine. Their last names were never revealed. In each episode, the duo dons brightly colored spandex costumes in a bright flash of light called an electric change, get into the electric car, and use an array of technically advanced gadgets to thwart an eclectic collection of supervillains, which had just a few of them, including Glare Rock, Mistress of Evil, and the Spire Lady, and even Alibaba and the Genie. The only villains that were seen twice were the Pharaoh and the Sorcerer. They were assisted by Frank Heflin, a scientist who stayed at their Electra base, operating its highly sophisticated crime scope computer while keeping in continual contact with the pair through their Electrocomms, which I thought that was really, really cool and what have you. Now, and it has had other adaptations before, including an unaired television plot for pilot for the WB network, a web series that was done that came out in 2016. There was even a parody from that was done in 1992. Also, this kind of had a little kind of a catchy catchphrase. It kind of like Robin's Holy or what have you bit, just like in Batman. Only it's Dyna Girls like Electra. Wow, really something. I've seen every episode of the show. They're not on YouTube anymore. Only the Glare Rock episodes are. They're split in two parts and what have you. Now, even when the show was dropped, it was later seen with both parts together in syndication. Next would be Magic Mongo, and that focused on three teenagers, Donald, Lorraine, and Christy. They find a ball and they discover it is the home of a genie named Mongo. And his magical attempts to help his young masters lead to many wacky misadventures. That was introduced in the second season. The other show that was introduced in the second season was Bigfoot Wildboy. And it was heavily influenced by the two-part Bigfoot episodes of The $6 Million Man, which of course was a hit on ABC at the time. Now, Bigfoot finds a young boy lost in the vast wilderness of the northwestern U.S. He raises the boy who becomes known as Wildboy. Now, 8 years later, they fight crime and aliens who show up around their forest home. Let's see. Now, they were aided in their first season by Susie, 12-year-old daughter of Ranger Lucas. And then she was replaced by Cindy, a young archaeology student, because that continued on and what have you. The episodes that aired on the Krofft Supershow were 15 minutes, but when ABC brought back the show as a standalone series, they edited the 15-minute segments into 30-minute episodes, and new episodes were filmed and aired in the summer of 1979. Now then, after 2 seasons with a overall total of 32 episodes, the Krofft Supershow had ended. Now then, here's the rest of the cast. For Dr. Shrinker, we have Jay Robinson as the titular character. Hugo is played by Billy Barty, who is certainly no stranger to working with the Krofft brothers, because he recently worked with them on shows like H.R. Puff and stuff, and Lidsville, and even the Bugaloos and Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Ted Eccles plays Brad. I believe I've heard that name before. Yes, he of course was already well known for voicing Dorno in Hanna-Barbera's the Herculoids, and was also the little drummer boy Aaron in the Rankin Bass animated special, The Little Drummer Boy. BJ is played by Susan Lawrence, and Gory is played by Jeff McKay. For Wonderbug, Barry is played by David Levy, Cece is played by Jack Baker, well, he's credited as John Anthony Bailey, and Susan's played by Carol Ann Schefflinger, excuse me. And Wonderbug's vocal effects were done by voice god Frank Welker, who, of course, the same year, he was also voicing some other characters on other ABC shows that premiered, which included Jabberjaw and Dynamo Dog Wonder for Hanna-Barbera. For Magic Mongo, playing the title character, that was Lee Weinrib, who recently had done vocal effects for Way Too Far Gets Home, playing Boyle's teenage son Chad, and also the voice of Inch High Private Eye. He'd later go on to voice various villains and Commissioner Gordon on the New Adventures of Batman from Filmation, which debuted early the next year, and also would be the original voice of Scrappy Doo. Donald is played by Paul Hinckley. Lorraine's played by Helene Lembeck, who I'm pretty sure is related to Michael Lembeck. I'm pretty sure. And Chrissy's played by Robin Dearden. And then there's two bullies there. Ace, played by Bart Braverman, and Duncy, played by Larry Larson. For Bigfoot and Wildboy, Bigfoot is played by Ray Young, Wildboy is played by Joseph Butcher, Susie is played by Monica Ramirez, Ranger Lucas is played by Ned Romero, Cindy's played by Yvonne Regalado, and Cindy's father is played by Al Wyatt Jr. And finally, for Electra Woman Dyna Girl, playing Lori, aka Electra Woman, is Deidre Hall, who, of course, most people know her best from being on NBC, the former NBC soap, which is now on Peacock, Days of Our Lives. Judy, aka Dyna Girl, is played by Judy Strangis, who has appeared on various TV shows and also recently did voice acting work on other Hanna-Barbera shows, including Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids. And Frank Heflin is played by Norman Alden, who recently voiced Aquaman on Super Friends, and he would return to voice the character the following year in the all-new Super Friends Hour. Now then, let me go ahead and give you a shot at some of these characters. Well, I've never seen the show in its original entirety, but this is what Kaptain Kool and the Kongs look like. They're the original lineup. Here's Deidre Hall and Judy Strangis as Electra Woman and Dyna Girl. Here's the three youngsters from Wonderbug. And these are the main youngsters of Dr. Shrinker. Here's kind of a special type of picture for Wonderbug. And that's Dr. Shrinker. Here's Lee Weinrib as Magic Mongo. Sorry if it's a little blurry, but this is Magic Mongo along with the three young people he becomes friends with. And this is a shot of Bigfoot and Wildboy. So now you've seen what the Krofft Supershow is like. Now you can find the intro to the show. Good luck trying to find the segments, but you can find clips or full segments of each series, including Bigfoot and Wildboy, on Saturday Krofft Productions YouTube channel. Just look it up. And that's going to do it for this Saturday Morning TVLog. What did you think of the Krofft Supershow? Have you ever seen the show in its entirety, or have you seen any of its segments? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Cox Channels actually did air the show as part of a retro lineup years later. Well, some of those shows. But anyway, what did you think of the show? Have you seen the show in its entirety, or have you seen any of its segments? Just tell me in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me later on tonight when I bring to you a review of John Carpenter's Escape from New York. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, consider checking out the Saturday Morning TVLogs for these other Krofft productions. In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog I did on the guy's first series, HR Pufnstuf. The upper left-hand corner is the episode I did on Sigma and the Sea Monsters. Or if you would like, go to the bottom left hand corner and see the Saturday Morning TV log I did for the original Land of the Lost, which that happened to be still on at the time this show was on. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TV log, then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TV log is The Adventures of Gulliver. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.